be finalized, but can be released by mutual agreement only after to right. However, I have with me Foreign Secretary Dr. S. Jaishankar. I have with me the Ambassador of India to the United States, Ambassador Arun Kumar Singh, and Joint Secretary Americas, Mr. Manu Mahavar, to brief you on the discussions that Prime Minister held today with President Obama. Foreign Secretary will give you a broad overview of the discussions, and then you will need to take a few questions. With that, I will go to Foreign Secretary.
Thank you, Vikas. Good afternoon, everybody. What I would like to do is basically give you a sense of the discussions which the Prime Minister had with the President, share with you some of the outcomes, but you will have to wait another 45 minutes before we actually release the joint statement. The meeting today, basically the meeting between the Prime Minister and the President in the White House was in three segments. There was a restricted meeting between the two of them, followed by delegation level talks, and of course in between there was a press statement by them, and then a discussion over lunch. Broadly speaking, I think the talks were for about an hour and a half. The lunch, I think, was a little more than an hour. So you had, and then there was a press briefing in between. So roughly this was about a shade more than 3 hours all put together. Now, as you may expect, the whole range of issues were discussed. Vikas reminded you that this was the third bilateral summit between the two leaders. And the nature of the relationship today is such that a very broad spectrum of issues came up. Some of it, in fact, the Prime Minister and the President themselves shared with the media during the press statement, and I think a lot of the discussion was on energy, clean energy, climate change related issues. One important development that they both recognized was the progress that had been made on the nuclear side. You know, as you all know, we have addressed the nuclear liability issue, and now we are in a position to start the preparatory work on site in India for 6 AP1000 Westinghouse reactors. Now this is still work in progress. We are looking at, we are having discussions even as we speak with the US Exim Bank for the financing package. But overall, you know, there was a sense that a big step forward had been taken, a very decisive step forward had been taken in this regard, and this was welcomed by both leaders. The engineering and site design work for these reactors would begin immediately, and I think there was satisfaction voiced in that regard. The second issue in this broad domain of climate change, clean energy, was the Paris Agreement. Again, I would remind you that the Prime Minister and the President had a very notable role in the successful conclusion of that agreement. You may recall the meeting that they had on the sidelines of the COP21 summit. So there was some discussion about how to take that forward. The US, of course, has made its own decisions, and we also, I think, indicated that we have begun our processes towards the goal of implementing it as soon as possible. On the clean energy, there was a fair amount of time spent both in the run-up to the summit and even in the discussions today about how to finance it. There is recognition today that India has taken some very big steps towards achieving its goal of 175 gigawatts of renewables, of which 100 would be solar. There was appreciation of the International Solar Alliance that was launched on the sidelines of the Paris Summit. There will be actually in that the founding conference of the International Solar Alliance later in the year in New Delhi. And the US, as in the past, has been very supportive of this initiative. There were three funds which came up for discussion. There's a US-India Clean Energy Finance Initiative, and the expectation is that it would actually mobilize the funds to really provide clean and renewable electricity to 1 million households in India by 2020. There's also a US-India Catalytic Solar Finance Program, which again is looking at mobilizing a very large amount from the private sector on solar projects. There was discussion on public-private research efforts in smart grid and grid storage. Now, as you all know, nuclear energy forms a very important part of the energy mix that we are contemplating for the future. In fact, we have this commitment to reach a 40% target of non-fossil fuel in terms of power generation by 2030. And it's been our endeavor to create a predictable climate where much larger investments, both domestic and international, can be made into nuclear energy in India. This was a matter of some discussion. We are looking forward to the acceptance of our application to join the nuclear suppliers group. This matter would be coming up for discussion at the end of this month in South Korea. The US has been supportive of this process for some time now. So that too was something which was discussed at some length, and we count on US support in that regard, and I would say the US was very positive in its approach on this issue. There was also, I think, we heard from the US side expressions of welcome of our imminent entry into the MTCR regime, which is the other export control regime which has been under discussion for some time. Now, apart from the clean energy, climate change, nuclear basket, the second basket on which some time was spent was the defense and security basket. Last year, when President Obama went to India, we announced a joint strategic vision. So it envisaged a roadmap of cooperation. So we are happy to inform you all that we finalized that roadmap. That's seen as an important step. We've had we reached some we finalized some agreements as well. One of them was a technical arrangement for the sharing of what is called white shipping information. And the other step which was taken was the finalization of the text of the MEA, the Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement. The notable development on the defense side was the willingness of the United States, which was conveyed during the course of the meeting, to recognize India as a major defense partner. Now, essentially, that status of a major defense partner really means that in terms of technology sharing and technology access, we would be treated at a level similar to the closest allies and partners of the US. That it sort of allows for better, higher quality, faster technology access on the defense side, and also more liberal access to the dual technology side. It is our hope that in fact, on dual technologies, we can move to a situation where there is a sort of license-free access to a wider segment of controlled dual technology. Now, just to sort of put that in perspective, licensing both on the defense side and the dual use side has been actually a subject of discussion for many years between India and the US. Today, I think the big challenge as we move into Make in India on the defense side and in the high technology side is we want a framework which would actually allow not just for sale or even collaboration, but we are really looking for a framework that would allow Make in India to happen in the defense side, which means you've got to look at it in terms of a project. So it's a much more integrated, holistic view of how you transfer technology and make available access to it. So I think this is in a sense the transition that we are seeking to make, and we do believe that today the talks were a big step in that direction. We did review ongoing projects, including in the DTTI, and there was discussion. Among the there was a broad understanding on the space side, where again, as you know, we have stepped up collaboration. Just quickly on the defense side, I must tell you that Defense Secretary Carter would be calling on the Prime Minister later this afternoon. So that would actually be the occasion to look at some of these issues in greater depth. We also have finalized a framework for US-India, we hope to finalize a framework for US-India cyber relationship in the near term, and I think a fact sheet would be issued on that very soon. So that was the defense side. On the security side, naturally, terrorism was the focus of much of the discussion. What I think you will really see in terms of the outcomes of the visit is a reiteration of our strong collaboration in that field. There was discussion on how to deepen that collaboration and to identify very, very specific areas where we can work together more closely. The sentiment that we heard, the US, as you know, has long been committed to bringing the people involved in the 2008 Mumbai attack to justice. I think now that sort of extends to people involved in the Pathankot attack as well. Broadly, there was a meeting of minds on that, and again, one of our initiatives, the CCIT, the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism, is something that the US is comfortable supporting. On the economic side, economic sort of people-to-people side, I think one area where we hope that it will make a real difference very soon is the signing of the MOU on International Expedited Traveler Initiative, which is known to you when you reach the airport as the Global Entry Program. The Global Entry Program essentially fast tracks at the airport people who are cleared as per the program. So we do think that it would be of great help, particularly to business travelers. There was discussion on the totalization agreement, which has been a long-standing Indian request that given the large payments that Indians working in the United States make and for which they don't really get any return at all. I think the other subject which came up was entrepreneurship, how we could work together more closely. Again, some of you would be familiar with the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, So we think that's a good vehicle really to look at this particular issue. On the some discussion on health issues, on science and technology issues, again, in terms of international issues, there's a reiteration of known commitments, including UNSC, but some discussion on PKO, how we can work more peacekeeping operations, how we can work more closely on that. And we are actually looking to work with the United States on some initiatives involving Africa in that regard. Finally, on the people-to-people side, we are happy to tell you that we hope to open another consulate in the United States in Seattle. We also would be undertaking initiatives with the U.S. to expand tourism both ways. So these were the broad range of issues. A number of international and regional issues also came up for discussion. There was discussion of the situation east of India, situation west of India. As you know, Prime Minister, before coming to the U.S., was in Afghanistan, in Herat, for the inauguration of the India-Afghanistan Friendship Dam. So some of these global regional issues also featured in the discussion. Overall, I think it was a in the briefing that I did in Delhi, I said that this was a visit where we hope to consolidate the relationship, which has really seen a very big upswing in the last 2 years. I think I can say with some confidence that we have achieved that objective. I think today a lot of the understandings and agreements reached really sort of set a higher baseline to take the relationship forward. I think the good story of the relationship of the last 2 years really continues. Perhaps I could stop there. I don't know, Arun, if there's something more you'd like to add, and I'd be happy to take your questions.
Yeah, the joint statement will be released in approximately 15 minutes. We've advanced it by 15 minutes. Yes, we are ready to take questions at the back.
Yes, thank you.
Please identify yourself.
Thank you. Bill Molden with the Wall Street Journal. Sorry if I missed this earlier, but if you could clarify the missile technology control regime, whether India has entered that and how that works, and how whether it came up during the meeting. Thanks so much.
Welcome back to the studios. Well, there was a live telecast from the United States MEA's briefing on the issues that were taken up in talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Barack Obama. Most important matters of some discussion, he said, were climate change, harnessing solar power, the nuclear energy sector, acceptance into the NSG. He said the U.S. is supportive of this process and entry into MTCR. Also defense and security, health, science and technology, peacekeeping operations in which the U.S. and India are expected to work more closely in the future, and opening of another consulate in the United States. Also tourism, expansion and international and regional issues also featured in the talks. With that, we come